Thank you very much, Tim. Good morning, everybody. My name is Ollie, and we've created, with a lovely team of people, an app called Henri le Worm. So yes, it's 9:30 nearly, and we're going to be talking about a French-speaking worm who can cook. You all deal with children, so I'm sure you're used to the surreal. So Henri the Worm is, the premise is essentially to encourage young children, so Key Stage 1 and the younger elements of Key Stage 2, to engage with the growing and cooking of fresh food, as well as to appreciate the environment and the ecology of a garden. For me, my father is a chef, so I was privileged enough to grow up in a food background or a food household. But I'm aware that a lot of people don't have that knowledge or haven't had the luck or the privileges that I have had. In this room, we've got some brilliant people who you're going to listen to. But I feel that there's a hole missing, which was material for children. There's not enough stuff out there which can get children excited. And I hope that Henri is one of those assets which you can use with children, and the children will get it. So, why is it important? For me, it's important because food connects you with everything. I'm half French, so I come from that slight food culture background. And for me, there's a sort of, I don't want to be blasphemous, but a holy trinity, if you like, which would be it connects you with the land, what we in France call la terroir, which would be the environment, which would be understanding where your food comes from, how it was grown, whether that be a chicken, if it's a battery-fed chicken, or if you're going to buy free-range or organic. It's appreciating what you're eating, because it does affect you. There's a reason that when you go into McDonald's, most of the staff who get free McDonald's have very bad skin and can be slightly overweight. That's because they eat that food every day, or certainly when they're working. The other part of that Holy Trinity is that food connects you with family. In France, we have a lovely tradition, which I know many people in England do as well, of eating around a table and enjoying cooking together, which is where my father learnt to cook, which was from his mother. It wasn't from a professional. It was from working in his mum's kitchen and then gardening with his father in the potager garden, where you get all the vegetables and herbs. And obviously the third part of that Holy Trinity is your health. I never knew this, and I had quite a good education, but I never appreciated you are what you eat. No one ever told me that if you eat that, it's not just because it's good for you because it's good for your skin, or it's good for your brain, or it's good for your heart, or it cleans your blood. And if you give that information, if you package that for children in a fun, entertaining way, I guarantee they will run with it and they'll enjoy it. You're not patronizing them, you're not preaching to them, you're giving them information that they should and usually do absorb. So what I'm going to do now is just going to show you a bit of what Henri the Worm is about. It's a collection of characters who all live in a garden. They're all insects, and as we know, insects generally all have a role in a garden. So even if I take the naughty character, who's called Lumpy Pum Pum, which is a sugar-crazed maggot who likes all the sweets and treats and the naughty things, he's a recycler. You know, maggots, they are recyclers in the garden. That's what they do, and that's a vital role. A worm, why on earth have you got a worm associated with food? Without worms, my friends, your gardens would die, they say, in about 2 weeks. Without your gardens, you'd have no food. A worm is fundamental to the health of the soil. It's a composter, and it aerates the ground. Without it, we'd all be in trouble. You then have other characters who are pollinators, look after the flowers. All that is information which is really important for children to learn. So when we talk about food, well, certainly when I talk about food, I'm not just talking about what you put in your belly. I'm talking about that whole narrative and story, which is a lovely story for children to start learning about, and an important one, because let's face it, they will be the generation who have to make some very important decisions. Okay, we got sound? Okay, well, I got slightly dodgy sound, but the visuals will be fine.
If you're close in any garden, park, and forest, there lives a secret world. If you look hard enough, you can find most wonderful things.
Okay, so you start up with a lovely...
So many things to do. Use your finger to explore.
Okay, you start with a lovely image of a garden. So you have about 10 scenes in the app. Lots of interactive touch points. As you've just seen, you get a bit of dialogue at the beginning with highlighted words, so it's good for the early readers as well. And you take as much time as you want on each scene. You might think, Ollie, what are you talking about? How can I bring this into a classroom? It's brilliant. We've asked the Charlton Manor team, we've got some fantastic case studies. I wish I'd been shown some cartoon or digital information. I would have switched on and got much better grades if my teachers at a young age had maybe shown me something a bit more colourful other than a textbook. And you can create lesson plans from each scene. So, for example, this is the first scene. You could do a lovely lesson plan about the seasons.
Explore the forest of plenty.
You could do
Lots of things to discover.
lesson plans about the vegetables in the garden.
Hello, my name's Sebastian, a very intelligent slug. It's a pleasure to meet you. Yummy tomatoes.
So whenever you touch any produce,
Love.
Sebastian, who's based on my brother, who thinks he's far cleverer than he really is in reality, he appears as a muse, and he'll tell you, well, the child, why, for example, if you touch cabbage, why cabbage is good for you, or why strawberries. But it's always from the child's point of view. So I don't talk too much about carbohydrates, enzyme, vitamin C, because that is important, but that will go over there at their level for me. So I talk to them why it's important, and then it's up to you teachers, the science teachers, etc., to go in with the carbohydrates and the big words, if you like. So it's all about exploring. You can touch things.
Alright, busy being a rate.
And
A place called Forest.
there's Tim Baker, off he goes,
There's an amazing adventure.
always on the move. So you go up into the sky.
Can you paint a rainbow?
Rainbow, okay, so you can see it's fun, it's colourful, it's interactive. I'm going to introduce you to Henri, and then I'll probably call it a day. But here he is.
Lots of things to do with Henri's kitchen.
Oh, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Olivier Blanc. Make yourself down.
I was going to play you the song, but I think because we've got a jumpy sound, that's not going to work. But essentially, again, any of the scenes in the app, there are multiple touch points, and you get information.
Ooh la la.
And a few French words are chucked in for free as well. There's also 10 recipes which are done by Raymond at the front, which are very much recipes which are designed to be done with parents or friends, with the children, and the recipes are within the narrative. So, for example, there's a scene where they're in a forest and it's dark, and then one of the characters suggests eating carrots with a humus dip or some kind of dip, fresh dip, and of course the screen lightens, and it's just a lovely way to go, kids understanding, carrots, they're good for your eyes, it can help to a degree. And I think if we go back again to that, you think of Popeye, that worked in my generation, even though it's not entirely true about spinach making you the strongest man in the world, didn't work for me. It had a huge impact on children taking up spinach, and that's a very good example, one that a lot of us will understand, you know, of how if you package this information correctly to children, they will digest it. Excuse the pun. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Many thanks.